I used to believe in the globe. Now I'm a flat earther. Let me tell you about it. All it took was a few David Weiss videos for TikTok to feed me, and it got this little brain going, okay? And I started saying, what's going on here? I came across this. I didn't personally know that we as Earth's entirety only sees one side of the moon. Yes, that's right. We only ever see one side of the moon. If you take a look here, I asked, why do we only see one side of the moon? It is because the moon spins on its axis once in precisely the same amount of time that it takes it to orbit the Earth, once that we only ever see one side of it. We don't see the far side because the moon is tidally locked to the Earth. So I say, hold on a second. Are you saying that it doesn't spin? Like that when it's going around us, it just doesn't spin at all. It just the same side faces us. No. I asked Google again if it spins, and it says yes. Yes, it does spin. Well, like what, a wheel or something? Like, I could make sense of a wheel, sort of, but take a look at this. Now, please tell me, where's the spin exactly? I just can't seem to see it. Take a look. Where is it? The odds are astronomical, my friends. So ultimately it comes down to this. Either you believe in the astronomical coincidence, or you believe that maybe a creator placed it there for a reason, maybe to be some sort of great light or something, right? I mean, it is pretty great, doesn't it seem to be to you? Odd stuff, isn't it? Stay flat, my buds.
Are they hiding more land from us? I think they are. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I talk about how the globe deception was created to hide God from us, to make us think we are insignificant coming from a big bang billions of years ago. I don't believe any of that. I believe God created the place we live, and I think he also created more lands that we live. I think there are more than 7 continents. In fact, I think one of those continents isn't even a continent, but an ice wall that surrounds our current living situation. See, I think there's a chance that we live on something more like this. A big, flat plain where we currently live is surrounded by a giant ice wall that I'm going to show you in a minute. And the 60th parallel is about around what that ice wall would be. And we're not allowed to explore any of this outer land. So this is a possibility. I think even something like this is a possibility where there's bigger and bigger ice walls. And for flat earthers out there, we know there's a dome above us. Maybe there's different domes in different areas. And I'm going to show you how this would even work, and how the sun that we see could even work on all these different domes and different lands. I personally even like this one, where potentially each dome is a higher level of vibration that you have to get to. We're stuck in the lowest vibrating area, but maybe through our first dome, you got to be vibrating at a little higher level. And then maybe that outer dome is what's called heaven. First, I want to show you this if you don't know about it. It's called the Antarctic Treaty, and it was signed in 1959 by literally dozens of countries that you would never guess would be able to agree on a treaty, not only at the time, but for the next 60 years. Okay, so it states basically that you cannot travel to this below the 60th parallel unless it's a supervised guided tour. Okay, so basically none of you watching this are allowed to go to Antarctica. And in the globe, Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the map. In the flat earth world, Antarctica is the ice wall that I'm going to show you in a minute that surrounds us and keeps you from traveling to the outer lands. So I just want to show you here, in the globe model, 60th parallel is here. It goes all the way around. You cannot go here unless you pay $30,000 for a guided tour that probably takes you like just to somewhere around Deception Island. Deception Island, yes. So let's show you what this looks like on the actual map of the world you live on. All right, so here's where you actually live. This is a map from 1892, an actual map. Notice there's no Antarctica on it because this is Antarctica, this ice wall that, again, I'm going to show you in a minute. It surrounds the other continents, and I would put my house on it, that there are lands out here that we are not allowed to go to. All right, this is actual Navy footage from 1957, and I'm going to show you this never-ending ice wall. And I even fast forward through it because the film is so long and it never ends. And you can go do this yourself. Go research what the highest land is in all of the world. It's Antarctica. It is the highest elevation land. That is easily researchable. They don't even hide that from you because it holds in our oceans. Look at this. It never ends. There's another shot here from a distant, and they like pan. This surrounds us. This keeps us trapped in the known world. And I would, like I said, I would put money on it that there are lands outside of here. And I'm going to show you how that would work with the sun we have. Look at this. Never ends. Most of you probably don't even know this exists. This is Antarctica. This is the ice wall. It surrounds known lands, and you are trapped here under a dome. All right, I want you to get a better look at this here, 1892 map. And this is what all the maps looked like before the public indoctrination centers funded by John D. Rockefeller started throwing the globes at everybody, okay? Look at this. There are actual maps that outline the ice wall back before they pushed the globe. Just want you to get a look at this. And I want to show you how the sun we see would actually work on the outer lands. Follow along next.
On the right is an eclipse that I filmed, and on the left is an eclipse that I created from a rear projection onto a paper towel. So this is an eclipse that was filmed a few years ago, and it's about 90% eclipse, and we see these two little eclipse lights. Well, one of them that's moving around, that's clearly a lens flare. It's moving with the camera, but the other one is locked to the sun. The amount of the lit part of these little lights is about what the sun is in the eclipse, but you don't notice it because it's so bright it's blowing out the lens. But they do match. So what is that? I think it's the projector, the source of the sun that we see.
Yep.
So if we do my experiment, we get our paper towel sky, we have the rear projection sun, and it's being eclipsed by a disk. Nobody has ever seen the moon approach, eclipse, or exit the face of the sun during an eclipse. But if you look at the paper towel, which represents the sky, you don't see it. Here it is exiting. You don't see what's eclipsing the sun. You just see a circular shape. Okay? But what if the sky was more transparent? So now I have thinner tissue here and doing the same thing, and look, right there. There's the source. It's not a theory. That is the source of the eclipse. That is the projector of the light. And when we compare them to an actual eclipse, it matches. Prove me wrong.
All right, so I just want to clarify what he's saying here. He's saying the sun that we see, when we're outside and we see the sun, that's not it's not a giant ball of gas 93 million miles away. But what it actually is, it's like seeing a rainbow, okay? It's not something physical that's there. It's a projection from a light source that is beyond the firmament, okay? So I want to show you how this ties in to how there could be more land, more outer lands, potentially all with domes, potentially not. But I want to show you how this works in my theory here and what I say is potentially going on. All right, so here I'm taking my iPhone light and I'm putting it on a paperweight here, and it is creating Very similar thing to what it looks like the sun looks like in our field of vision. See that? So now what I did is I grabbed multiple paperweights, all coming from the same light source, and they all have that little glow that could be the projection of the sun in the different lands with potentially different domes above them. I can understand if you have a hard time believing that the globe was created to hide God from you. That's a hard sell, that's a hard jump. But what if your belief in this is preventing us from reaching our true freedom? Our true freedom where we don't have corrupt governments ruling over us. Think about it.
Everybody that's into flat Earth, it was very hard for them to get into it and admit it. It took like a year and a half for them to admit it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
felt
wasn't
like
into,
that.
I was
Yeah.
violently opposed to it. But the one thing about flat Earth, punching flat Earth on YouTube, you're going to get all the debunkers.
Debunkers.
And like, why is there so many people working against it? It's crazy. They're doing the exact same thing to flat Earth that they do to 9/11, JFK, Iran Contra. They got people producing debunking videos.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that if it's so stupid?
It's so
Why-
stupid.
you should ask yourself, why is there a debate about it? How is there a debate still in this time with the internet? Why are people, there's so many people that are afraid to admit that they're looking into flat Earth because the amount of ridicule you get. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was quiet about it, but I was against it. I was trying to, people kept coming up to me, have you looked into flat Earth? I'm like, dude, shut the
Fuck up. Yeah, you're crazy.
This is like a couple of years ago. I'm like, shut
Yeah.
the fuck. Joe, I was on Joe's podcast and he would bring it up because people are so dumb. There's some people out there still believe the Earth is flat. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are they really? There's people like that? And this was just a few years ago. I'm in
And
my 40s.
now you're
Then
thinking about
I
it.
kept trying to debunk it. Like
Right.
I would get an argument with people, and that's the typical story. Everyone's trying to debunk it. Then the one thing that made me realize something was wrong is I always believed that the moon landings were faked, and that's what I thought NASA was. I thought NASA was in charge of the moon missions. I didn't think they were in charge of all space information. I thought there was all these scientists everywhere, and they're figuring out shit about the universe. And once I was looking into it, realized, oh shit, all these pictures of Earth from space, they're all CGI composites, and NASA admits it. They go, oh, you know what, we take the images and we take this information strips, and then we get an artist to put together. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys aren't even getting real pictures of the fucking Earth from space? I go, I had the picture of Earth
Where's the
from space.
bootlegs?
Yeah.
Where's them fucking space bootlegs?
And you get the Earth on your iPhone. That's the default. The default picture. I go, I had looked at Earth every day on my iPhone. I see that. I go, how are you going to tell me the Earth's flat? I see it. So the guy said, go. He goes, I got a master's in engineering. Look into it. And so I did, and I realized, damn. Then I started tracing these pictures back to NASA. Then I realized, wait, NASA is controlling all our space information. I go, NASA does that? I thought they just did the moon and the space shuttle.
Yeah. And
I didn't know-
NASA's gutter, dude. They've
Yeah.
been around for 60 years. They've been to the moon allegedly 4 times.
No, 6 times.
Yeah, 6
And
times.
then they destroyed all the technology? Come on, man.
Dude, that's
Come
the
on,
worst.
man.
If that
Come
was
on,
a
man.
biz, be like, this
Come on,
is
man. You
yeah.
guys are, you know what? They had to say they destroyed it. What are they going to say?
Yeah, what else are they gonna
What are
say?
they going to let people... they destroyed all the video, the raw video footage, the raw audio footage, all the telemetry data, which tracked where they were in space. All that's gone.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see just how evil NASA is. First, we're going to look at Earth's orbital speed around the sun. How fast does Earth move around the sun? 66,600 miles per hour, speed of the globe's orbit. Next, curvature in 1 mile squared. According to Pythagorean theorem, 0.67 feet of drop. 8 inches converted to feet is 0.66667 feet. Curvature in 1 mile squared. Check. Earth's axial tilt, 23.4. But when you take 23.4 and subtract it from 90, a right angle, you get, believe it or not, 66.6. Again, axial tilt confirmed. Now let's take a look at the Antarctic and Arctic circles. Oh, would you look at that? 66.6 degrees north and 66.6 degrees south. Must just be a coincidence, huh?
The current commander of the International Space Station about to break a big record tonight. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
They call it the Peggy factor, Mission Control's code word for the way superstar astronaut Peggy Whitson always gets the job done.
I love it up here.
Tonight, Commander Whitson making history with her record for any American. By the time she lands in September, her tally will be 666 days in space. Will be 666 days in space. Will be 666 days in space, with more spacewalks, currently 8, than any other female astronaut.
Now let's go over the diameter of the moon. This is a new one. I actually didn't know. It's 2,160 miles, but you take 6 times 6 times 6, there you go, 2160. The surface temperature of Uranus, oh, there you go, negative 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Oh, you thought we were done. Let's do Pluto's orbital velocity. Scroll down here. Oh, there we go. 666. The speed of sound in knots. Speed of sound. Oh, well, look at that. 666 knots. The Earth's circumference in nautical miles. Oh, 21,600. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, 600 times 6 times 6. Another coincidence, 21,600. How far is Mars from the Sun? Oh, well, 1.666 astronomical units. Now let's look at Ceres' synodic period. And just as you expected, 666. Again, the devil's in the details, ladies and gentlemen. Saturn's orbital distance in kilometers. Let's take a look at the numbers. Oh, 1,426,666,000.
The truth goes through 3 stages. At first, it is ridiculed. In the second, it is violently rejected. In the third, it is accepted as self-evident. Open your eyes.
There's so many truthers who are deceived to think that this rocket is hitting the firmament dome. But I'm about to show you the truth about what it actually hits. Get ready. But many people think that that rocket hit God's firmament dome, and that's why water appeared, because they thought that it was the waters above the firmament that were causing that water type appearance. But they did not hit the firmament, because God said in Proverbs 25 verse 3, "The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable." So we know that the height of the heaven is actually unsearchable. And remember, in Genesis 1, God called the firmament heaven. So they cannot search the height of the heaven or of the firmament. They will never be able to reach the firmament. What you saw was a superfluid realm called the ether that they are hiding from you. This realm of superfluid is also known as the blue air. And there's actually explorers who trapped samples of this air. So when you see this blue type liquid, you're seeing the superfluid ether realm that's above us. It starts at about 73 miles up, and it is not the firmament. It is a dense realm of air that is referred to as a superfluid. Back then, they used to believe that the ether permeated space. The reason they're hiding this ether from you is because it actually proves that the earth is not moving at all. So I want to show you this document here that's talking about the ether, right? It's normally transparent, meaning you can't see it, but it can be made visible by hitting it sufficiently hard to knock out a part. Alright, so we know that ether can be made visible when it's hit by something, right? Now you see the superfluid realm being hit. Now look at this moon footage. You have these little waves going across. Here goes another one. So we know the moon is traveling through this ether type realm. Now this is why in the 1900s they conducted the Michelson-Morley experiment to try and prove that the earth is moving through the ether realm. This would prove for them that the earth is moving through space. Because remember, they said that the ether permeates space or makes up space. Well, guess what? Lo and behold, they did not observe the movement of the earth through this ether realm. So what did they do? They pretty much proved that the earth is not moving. It's stationary. It's not moving through space, or it's not moving through this ether realm. Of course, because God's word is true. He told us the world is established and that it cannot be moved. So then what happened? Einstein released his special theory of relativity. And then the physics community started to accept that the ether does not exist. But of course they're going to say that the ether doesn't exist because it disproves the ball earth. But of course, 50 years later, here's more documents. The failure of the US attempts to attain supremacy of the ether. So they know this ether exists. They're just not telling you. Here's another one where the US tried to obtain supremacy of the ether once again. And like I say all the time, they have to put things right in your face. So of course they added into popular video games like Minecraft. You have the ether dimension. Here it is here. What do you see? You see that blue super liquid type fluid realm. Of course they made it blue because they put it right in your face. Here's another game. You have the ether. That's why it's blue. That's why our sky is blue. You're looking at the ether realm. A superfluid. This is why it's important to read your Bible first before you start believing conspiracy theories, right? Because no one can reach the firmament. God told us they cannot measure the heavens for height. God bless you guys. I hope you can spread this information on to someone who got deceived by this. Don't forget to like and follow. I'll see you in the next one.